Welcome back to my little MIPS teaching world. We're high up right now. What's going on? Why are we high up? Because I'm... oh, don't look over there. That's the matrix. We're high up because I'm standing on something. And what I'm standing on is a cooling solution that I made. Because you might have observed last time that the station was getting kinda hot. And so I installed a few pipe radiators to cool our station air. This much is really not necessary. I just try to go as far as I can. I mean, I could go further, obviously. Yeah. So let's go indoors. Made some more solar panels. Here we can see what comes in. Decorated slightly, not much. But what matters is that I installed a cooling solution and I programmed it, and I just want to explain to you how this thing works and how you can make your cooling on the moon. So, let's look. We have a temperature in here of over 80 degrees. That's really, really hot. We cannot really plant anything here. And so, before we get desperate, let's look at the pressure. It's very, very low. I mean, it's not too low for breathing, but since it's very low still, I guess one of the best approaches to cool things down would be to melt some ice in here, and immediately
waste tank caution.
It's getting less hot. Oh, what's that? Oh, this foggy stuff. Oh, I tossed the wrong ice accidentally. Damn, I wanted to toss oxide. Now I tossed water ice. What will I do with the water ice? Like, now I can't stuff it in the crusher. I haven't made a crusher yet. Such a waste. But fret not, because you don't need a crusher. If you want to drink something, all you need is water bottles and a passive liquid inlet, which is part of the kit liquid, which is part of the kit drain that you get here from the pipe bender. It will just suck any liquid from the air into the liquid pipe. There's only one pipe here that's connected there between these. And why is there an error? Because of the gas mixture, you know. Well, too bad I can't see that now. That's it's a bit unfortunate. Can we see the pipe from here? Yeah, we can. And we can see that filing, also nice. So we see here in that pipe there is a lot of H2O, a lot of water, but there's also gases, and some of them are pollution. Pollution and volatiles both are unacceptable for the water bottle filler. It will work with other things in the pipe, and then it will only pipe water into the bottles, but not pollution and not volatiles. How did this stuff get in there? Well, through the air. Obviously, we have this passive liquid inlet, and it lets everything from the air in, liquid and also other stuff. And the cool part is that this means we have a connection, a direct connection between the liquid pipe and the room's air, and so if I let the air scrubber run, that cleans up the pipes. So what, you know, like alcohol is the cause of and solution to all the world's problems, right? Is what Homer said. Now we can see here that the amount of pollution is decreasing, so the thing that caused the problem, the passive liquid inlet, is now also our pathway to a solution. And all you have to do is run the air scrubber. I mean, isn't that convenient? Good to know, no?
Exosphere. The dark side of Synthera.
Not yet, huh? Maybe it's still too much. Oh. Beautiful, I didn't even test this, but, you know, once you know how the thing behaves. So we just got water straight from the air. Is there still water in the air? Yeah, there is. I wonder why, actually. I guess the passive liquid inlet is... the speed decreases, the less there is actually to take in. Oh! Yeah, over here there's nothing, because it's been basically sucked in by that thing. And over here, you know, the usual room spread out routine kind of thing. This can be turned off. So, what we just saw, quite a few things. We can clean up the air, and thus also clean up the liquid pipe, and we can just toss down water ice, and that will then melt. It's actually cold enough already for me to take off to open my helmet.
Air tank low. critical. Temperature high.
Yeah, what you should actually have done is, you know, toss the oxide. But okay, let's test this cooling solution then. So this is just a gas pipe which will be filled with this active vent. Let's turn on this thing so we can see what's in the pipe. There's nothing in there, and thus also no temperature. Lots of liters, over 1,000 liters fit in there. So suck it inwards and then let's look at the room temperature. (39.8 degrees). Do that again. (35, 34, and so forth. You can see this solution is really strong. No wonder. I mean, I put a shit ton of resources in there, but you can also use basically one, just one piece, one gas pipe and one radiator, the pipe radiator, not the liquid one because not the liquid pipe, just the pipe radiator. And then when you build that thing, can I make one so I demonstrate that? Then you have the choice if you want to build this, which is for convection. That is when you have an atmosphere that could conduct heat, and when you don't have atmosphere, then you want to use the radiation kind. Only then, as far as I understand. There might be a low limit, but that would be really low. So usually, if there's atmosphere, use the convection kind. If there's no atmosphere, like on the moon outside, use this kind. Yeah. So important, it's important that we suck the pipe dry afterwards, because this cooling thing is so strong, it will probably freeze the air even, I think. I don't know, I didn't try it yet. So let's cool down the station to like 23 or so degrees, shall we? That's the gas sensor connected to the system. And now it's stopped. 23 degrees. Very nice, huh? Very powerful cooling, and if the room would be really hot, this thing would take care of it, no problem. I mean, it's basically saying to the wall heater, shut up! Let's wait for that moment when it says shut up. I set the threshold to 27 degrees because the cooling is so strong that it can't really stop in time. I didn't time this right. But we have to be patient. And now. And that's it, end of story. Another wall heater can't do anything, it's just not powerful enough. So interesting, when this thing is running and I stick my disk in, it will immediately unlock this and turn it off and pump any remaining air out, any remaining gas back into the room. So I just use the disk as a mode switch, you know, I want to operate this thing manually, like here, you know, when you stick in the disk, want to configure it, and this is now automatic mode. Let's look at the source code. First, let's look at the component again. The system has a gas sensor that will tell the system how warm it is in here. It has an active vent that pumps into the pipes, but also pumps back out from the pipes so that the pipes don't get too much gas. And here we have a pipe analyzer. Sadly, this active vent, which can actually prevent overpressurization of the pipes, so it has some kind of sensitivity for that, doesn't show us doesn't expose these values. I mean, the active vents are kind of overpowered anyway, so that's forgivable. But anyway, it would be nice, but now I just need this thing to find out if the pipe has been evacuated. Those are the components. As per usual, up here I first define my types, but I will not explain everything again from scratch. The previous video was for that, this one is not. So here I define the active vent type, and then this actual named vent, then the gas sensor type, and the name of that respective gas sensor. The same then for the pipe analyzer, and then this is for the arc furnace, this is for the automatic lights and beacon, and this is the cooling stuff. And it's way more complex than necessary, because I did some things that are not necessary. I mean, if you want to cool down your base, you don't have to go that far, not at all. Anyway, let's explain the source code. What is the first thing it does? Load batch named slot R0. So it loads into the register R0 from the vent, from slot 0, which is the only slot it has, which you can see in the Stationpedia, whether the slot is occupied. Then we compare branch if greater than 0, so I don't have to actually write a 0 over here, it's just implicit with the statement. Branch if there's something in the slot, so if the amount is 1 or more. No, not the amount. Occupied is not the amount. It just says 0 for not occupied and 1 for occupied. So if it is occupied, as in it is greater than 0, then we jump to cooling is disabled. And in cooling is disabled, we first... Oh, that is actually test code. That's no longer necessary. Wanted to find out if this disk thing works. Then we load batch named into register R0, the pipe analyzer, and we find out if the pipe analyzer is currently locked. If it is less than or equal to 0, which means that it is not locked, then we're just done with the cooling. I mean, here in cooling is disabled, we won't do anything except if the thing is currently locked. Then we want to turn the pipe analyzer off. We want to turn off the locking, so I have manual access to the device. We want to turn the active vent to pumping into the room, and we want to turn the active vent on. So we want to establish the safest and also most manual situation. And when the disk is not in the slot, then we're doing this. We're saying lock the pipe analyzer, then turn the pipe analyzer on. If it's already locked or if it's already on, nothing will happen. Then load the pipe from the pipe analyzer, the pressure value, and then branch if less than or equal to 0. So if there's nothing more left in the pipe, in the cooling pipe, then jump down here. But let's first look what happens otherwise. If there's still something left in there, then we're saying active vent, pump into the room and be on, and then jump to cooling done. Instead of jumping to cooling done, I could also have always done jump to start, but now I can still do other things here with this same chip, because everything is just contained in this long block here, in this consecutive block. So what if there is no more pressure in there? Then we jump down here to maybe cool a little, and maybe why? Well, we want to find out if it's too warm. If it's not too warm, then we don't want to cool. So load batch name into register R0. From the gas sensor, the temperature, subtract 273.15 to turn Kelvin into degrees Celsius, and then branch relative greater than R0 27. We're saying that if register R0 is greater than 27 degrees, then we want to jump down 1, 2, 3 lines, which means turn the vent into the direction of the pipe, like suck from the room into the pipe, and turn it on, and then yield, which is half a second, and then flip it back to mode 0, and then jump to cooling done. So on the next iteration of the main loop, we will then just come up here, arrive up here and realize, oh, there's still some pressure in there, so keep sucking. And if it's not yet sucking, then we'll just turn it to sucking, but it has already been prepared to sucking down here. So, but anyway, if the temperature is not greater than that, then we just turn the cooling vent off and jump to cooling done. Well, that's all. So to summarize, what does the code do? It If the disk is in there, then everything is manual, and it will even detect if it has just been flipped to manual, which can be detected by the locking value of this thing, which I cannot set manually, so it has to be set by some source, some logic device. And then it will turn the locking off, and will turn that thing off, and will set this thing to sucking into the room. So why do I do this detection of whether this thing is currently locked? Because the main loop is running again and again and again. So again and again is detecting that this disk is in there. I'm not detecting that the disk was stuck in there. I'm detecting that it is in there. So, but I want to distinguish if this is a new situation or an old situation. That's why I'm using this locking value. So if the disk is not in there, it will check if the temperature is too high. If so, then it will pump into these pipes for half a second and then suck out of these pipes. And then it will check if there's still something in the pipes, and it will keep sucking out, because we need to be careful not to have freezing stuff in there. That's it. That's the cooling mechanism. Yeah. Short and sweet, right? Oh, what's this? Still some pollution. Yeah, how did this happen? And that's indeed all I have for today, and so I will just stop the video now, but before that, yeah, it's really that short. But before that, I want to do a little experiment. What happens if we pump the gas of a hot furnace into that brutal cooling mechanism? I want to see what that does, and I haven't seen that yet. I want to see that. So, save, cycle. You know what? Let's do something else first. I know, groan, but no. I want to toss down all the ice. I have more water ice. Little help here. This cube of the world, of the room, now has already almost 2 liters of water. And we have that in every cube. Wonder if it overpressure the pipes. Capacity is 40 liters. Amount of liquid in there 39.6 liters. So apparently it takes care not to overpressurize the pipes. Again, something learned, so that was worth a little detour. Almost 3 liters of water in every block of the room. And very cold, isn't it? But okay, let's do the furnace and then do the goodbye. That didn't work. Apparently I don't have to fear the sun anymore. First I want to get the furnace going. Now we have a proper fuel mixture in there and the furnace is burning. More, please. Now I want to wait until the fuel mixture has completely turned into its waste products, you know, pollutant, CO2 and of course heat, before I pump that stuff out. No use wasting perfectly good heat, right? What we have also just learned is if you use 10 oxide and 20 volatiles, you know, always a 2-to-1 mix for standard fuel, then the furnace will not overpressure. 10-20. That works. It's harmless. If the furnace is completely naked, you know, it was Empty. Emptied. Okay. Let's see then how quickly we can cool that stuff down. Huh? Shouldn't it express? Ah, yes, it does. Do we have some hot gas in there? Yes, it's over 1000 degrees. And the furnace is rather hot. Now, without further ado, the cooling pipe just doesn't give a fuck. It doesn't care. Let's add some more. Let's add a lot more. Or maybe... Still over 1000 degrees in there, it's heating up again. But the cooling pipe doesn't care. 160 degrees, no problem. At some point it will have cooled down so much that it will kind of explode. And I want to get there. But first I want to put as much into it as possible. Oh, okay. Doing stupid things. Man, this is ominous, isn't it? It just can't get its stick up again. I have no passive liquid drain somewhere. Oh, the pollutant is already liquefying. Okay, I guess the experiment is half failed because I forgot about the pollutant, which once it has enough pressure will probably become liquid. So we're not gonna have that cool thing that we wanted to see, where it just freezes to death at rapid speed. So let's stop the experiment. Stop pumping, and let's see how this descends into nothing. 200% stress, the pipe should be dying now. Temperature 50 degrees. So much for 2000 degrees, huh? Killer cooling. Yep. When we're at -7 or -8 degrees, the CO2 will start becoming liquid, and liquid is bad for the pipes. Or maybe not at this pressure? No. Wait, what am I saying? At this pressure it should happen even earlier. Yeah, see, now it's becoming liquid. Pressure is increasing. I mean, stress is increasing. Oh, 80 liters of liquid in this gas pipe network. Have you seen that before? Minus 30 degrees. How are the pipes not yet exploded at 500% constant stress, man? Maybe they are already exploded up there in the network, I just can't see it, who knows? I thought this would be a bit more spectacular, but it's interesting nonetheless. Too bad we can't hear the pipes scream. Ah, now we can see the pipes scream. This is... volatiles and CO2, I would assume. Now they're leaking. The more they leak, the less gas will be in there, the quicker it will cool down, because the less it has to, the less heat there is to be shedded. No freezing stuff yet. Yeah, well, pressure decrease means that the phase change situation changes, so it's less likely to become liquid and such. But minus 100 degrees, and we still have... Ah, now we have freezing pollutant, now it's gone. Yeah, okay, that's it. Show's over. Fizzled out, didn't it? So let's enjoy like half a minute more of this, visually and audibly, and then good night.